Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom to all of you. This is the first day of Pesach. We have enjoyed now, last night, celebrating our real banquet, a real time, a celebration of this, the Haggadah, the reading and learning and understanding a little bit more about Pesach. You know, the problem with Pesach is the translation of the name Pesach, you know, that has been translated as Passover, and really has a little bit more than the meaning. What I would like to bring to you is that this Pesach that was that we read in Shemot chapter 12 was done only one time, and only one time alone. That had not been repeated at all. Okay? What we do is memorialize, but we don't do it. And you are going to be surprised when I'm going to tell you, but the Haggadah that we have today, that our dear sages and rabbis have developed through the years, has nothing to do with the original Pesach, in the sense that it is not what the Pesach was, and has changed completely from our times to the times in which 2,000 years ago, when our Messiah Yeshua celebrated. It is interesting too to understand that many things have changed. And it's very easy to look backwards instead to look from the beginning to the end. And that's when we are going to see the development. We have the natural understanding of certain things, and we love to allegorize, and allegorizations become reality to us and become real things. Like that is what the creators say or did, when it has nothing to do with the Torah. You know, for example, I love to celebrate the 4 cups. I would love to celebrate other things. But that's not in Torah. That is totally a rabbinical interpretation that they have been trying to teach us in a very pedagogical way this very important memorial, Pesach. But what is Pesach? Bottom line, Pesach. What is the meaning for Israel, for our people, for us? What is the Creator wanted so important that needed to memorialize in that way? You know, that is the first, in chapter 12, the first commandment that the Creator gives to the people of Israel. This festival is the first festival. It starts in the beginning of the years. You know, our sages, through their tradition, have changed. What is the first day of first month of the year? It's not any longer Nisan. Now it's Tishrei. But in order today, we have 4 years, 4 new years. You know, and looks like very funny sometimes, but it's not funny. Because the truth of the matter is that every time that we change the Torah for the word of men, we are getting away from the Creator, from the Borei Olam. And this is what I would like that you understand about Yeshua. Because at this time that I am talking to you, in the Gentile world, are doing presentations that to me, I'm sorry to say, with due respect, but I need to say, to me, they are awful. The representation. It's like the people enjoy or rejoice about suffering and blood and things like that. It's like it's morbid in certain ways. And the problem is, because of that, 2 people have been separated. And they have separated by the name of Yeshua and Jesus Christ. You see? And many of us Jewish people, who we have received the understanding that Yeshua ben Joseph came as the anointed one, on his time to bring his people, Israel, back to Torah, and was taken away from his people and became a function of the Gentile world, and they characterized in a totally different way. And not only that, but they changed who he really was, and they made something that never existed. And that is the problem to try to understand Yeshua HaMashiach, Yeshua the Anointed, with Jesus Christ. Because they are totally two different entities. One is an historical being, and the other it is a theological invention. My job for many years, for almost 25 years here in this community, have been to try to bring together both people to the centrality of Yeshua and to understand him. My people, the Jewish people, have learned to hate. And that's very sad. To this part, to speak against this Jesus Christ, and speaking against that Jesus Christ, they have marred the image of Yeshua, a righteous, a tzaddik Jew, a teacher, a rabbi, and a prophet, the anointed one. And to me it's sad because we as Jewish people, one of the things that we understand is that we do not need to use Lashon Ra. But we are reacting to the other environment, or the creation of this entity called Jesus Christ. That it is a theological creation of the Gentile world. And they have been trying by all means to make it Jewish. And there has nothing of Jewishness there. And our job, our love, my desire is that these two communities come together because of Yeshua, but the real Yeshua. One time, I received a book that was called, Please, the True Jesus Stand Up. And there were three Jesus. One looked like a rabbi that was in the center. In the other side was one all with a crown and crucified and bleeding. And the other side was a Greek philosopher. I said, which one of these three is the real Yeshua? It was very obvious that they wanted to portray that each group can see it in the way they want it. You know, it's very interesting in the world, when they look at the picture of Yeshua, there are some people who say he was a great man, a great teacher, you know, a Jew. Others say, oh, he was the God incarnated, no? Who died for the sins of the world. That is supposedly Pesach. And in the Middle East, he was a rabbi who came to bring his people back to Torah. And that's how we need to focus him today. No more and no less than that. Why? Because he was one of the greatest among the history of the Jewish people. Sometimes I could say that even bigger than Moshe Rabbeinu, because of how his mere presence has changed the world. And it is a fact, not something that I am trying to invent, even in the wrong way, but it has been changed. But for the Jewish people, I say this. Yeshua was a tzaddik was a righteous man, and he didn't do anything to try to destroy Israel. Totally the contrary. He wanted to bring Israel back to the Creator, to the Boreo land. He wanted to bring his people back to Torah. And to the Gentiles who has created this Jesus Christ, I want to tell you, you can worship a creation of your imagination, but that cannot replace the Creator. And interestingly enough, Yeshua never tried to replace the Creator with himself or with something else. And this is why Pesach is so important to understand it today. Because the Pesach is a festival of redemption. What it means, redemption? What it means to redeem? Well, basically, come from the idea to bring you back to, like a teshuvah and korban and all those terms, to make you anew, to bring you back from what you were before, and you are not any longer. And the greatest problem that we don't face is sometimes that we do not understand is about the problem of slavery. By the way, this problem of slavery today, in the 2018, in this generation, slavery is very alive. And they're very sophisticated sometimes, but this is slavery. You're going to see in certain places slavery of women, children, slavery of technology, slavery of wealth, a different type of slaveries. Slaveries even of philosophical understanding and religious positions. And it's exactly that what the Creator came to bring Israel out of that environment that has totally dulled their understanding of his people. We need to understand this. That's very important to me. Israel was taken out of Egypt, but Egypt stayed with Israel for still today. We have part of Egypt. What I'm trying to tell you, the Creator redeemed us, took us out of slavery. But the slavery concept didn't come out from us. And many of us, we are still a slave. Even though we have been redeemed, we do not understand that redemption. Because we are still going back or looking back to Egypt. One time when I was talking to all of you, say to you, where is your Egypt? Where do you keep your Egypt? Where is the area that you want to keep coming back, instead to get rid of them? What is holding you back? What is doesn't allow you to be yourself anymore? And you want to see that all of us, we have our Egypt. And we need to fight. Do you know, and I challenge this to many people, do you know there is no any part in the story of Exodus, in Shemot, in which the people of Israel asked the Creator to get out of Egypt? It was for Israel, Israel will stay in Egypt. The only thing that they wanted was a better treatment, a more humane treatment. But they were happy and very comfortable in that way. And their slave mentality was so settled that they couldn't change. It was because of that the Creator literally forced the Egyptians, listen this carefully, was the eternal God, our Boreolam, blessed be his name, who forced the Egyptians finally to get rid of the Israel. You see, Israel didn't live because I want to live, and I am happy living and singing like you see the Ten Commandments movie. Be careful when you see the movies. They can take you to the wrong place. It's interesting. I wrote I'm looking for my, I always, yeah, please. Thank you. I put it someplace, but I don't know where I put it. And I need to read it, see. Last week, I wrote an excerpt, and you have all in your bulletin. And I say, at this time of Pesach, I would like that we recite Psalms 139, 23, 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any way in me that is grievous, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Psalms 139, 23 and 24. Where we ask him, the Creator, to search our hearts, to see our intention, the kavanah in us, to search our heart and show us the areas in our lives that hold us back from walking with him. Let us remember that the only thing that the Creator is asking us to do is not to eat at this time of the year leaven. Okay? Our traditions has added so many not to do's that sometimes Pesach becomes very, very heavy. In Spanish, sometimes we say, Pesach llega a ser pesado. Okay? There is a rhythm with the word. That becomes heavy because of the do's and don'ts. And we get lost, okay, to eat, and not only to eat leaven. Everything else is pure, mere religion, tradition, mesorah, whatever you want to call it. Be careful not to be distracted by all the rules and regulations of men, which will take you away from the true message of Pesach. You are so worried about what you can eat or you cannot eat, what you can see or you cannot see, how do you serve it, how you don't serve, how many plates do you put in the siddur, you know, how many do you do the Hillel sandwich or you don't do the Hillel sandwich, you do the Kodesh and you do the Haroset, or how you do it, you know, all those things. What is first and what is second? How many times we wash our hands, the first or the second, which we bless and which not bless? You know, there are so many. And you lose totally the concept and the idea why you are there. This regulation of men which will take you away from the true message of Pesach. What it means, interestingly enough, it's a time of freedom. Can you see the opposite? Can you see what religion brings to you? Religion, instead to be a way of freedom, is a way of slavery. And when you become more religious, how many times I have repeated this, you become more far away from the Creator. And you think you are serving the Creator, and the only one that you are serving is yourself, because you are feeling good about yourself. The time of freedom, Rabbi. And our Rabbi Yashuv told us, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Don't look in the Greek way. Look at in the Hebrew way. you shall know the Creator. You will have a relationship with the Creator. And because of that, you are going to be free of all those religions. Because when you are walking with Him, you don't need anything extra. What do you think needs extras? In case, to cover up. But when we are in the presence of the Creator, we are totally naked, physically and spiritually, because He can see through us. No one of us can deceive Him. Even many times when we play the religion game, we think that we are deceiving Him. I put my face of good. I put on my face of self-righteousness. I put my face of goody, goody, goody. And what happened? It's all mascara. That in the Greek language they call it hypocrisy. We put a mask. You don't need a mask with the Creator because He can see you even behind the mask. And then this message I wrote here is simple, but it's not easy. There is nothing better than being korban to the Creator. In other words, there's nothing better than to be close to the Creator. That is Pesach. Redemptive. Freedom. And the first freedom that you need to have is from whom? From yourself. Some of us, we are so a slave of ourselves that we cannot enjoy life. We have fear to breathe. We have fear to get out. We have fear to go this. We have fear of what the people are going to say about us. We have fear to speak. We have fear to everything. You know why sometimes we as a community, we are not so popular? Because we do not offer anybody hocus pocus. But what we offer is a true relationship with the Creator. What we offer is a true relationship with yourself. And what we offer is a true relationship with each other. We don't need to play any longer the game of hypocrisy. We don't need to play the game of holier than thou. We don't need to play the game, you know what? Peace and love for the world. Right now, at this moment that I am talking to you, in Israel, there is a very difficult time. If you read the news, sometimes it's very sad. And to me, it's sad for two reasons. You know, the Christian people in that land, they are against Israel. Even though they know that the Muslim people are killing them. And they only have freedom when they are in Israel. Because when they are in the Arab area, the Muslim area, they are killed and turned down. They have been killed by the Muslims. And they are defending the Muslims against Israel. The Pope cannot talk at all about how they are killing their own people. He talks about what is happening in other places. He doesn't protest. But we in Israel, we defend our own. And right now they have created in the area of Gaza a protest. I heard the president of the Palestinian, saying this was a peaceful demonstration and Israel has killed our people. I wish that you see the pictures. They come with weapons, they throw bombs. And they threw rocks too. And rocks kill, by the way. Ask David Hamelech. And you know what? Now the United Nations is condemning Israel for defending themselves. No one word of accusation to Hamas, to the Palestinians. No word of accusation to the Syrians who are killing their own people and others who they are not like them. No word of accusation about the Turkish people that are killing other people, the other people, the Kurds. No one word to the North Korea. No one word to Russia, who took over and took a land that belonged to them. No one word to the Venezuelans. Israel. In this last moment that I am talking to you, the United Nations passed 12 sanctions against Israel, and the rest of the world, there were only 5. Something wrong is happening in this world. We still have the Egypt in us. All the world needs to get rid of Egypt. And when I say Egypt, I am not talking about the country, I'm talking about the makeup of thinking. Putting other gods, putting other things instead of the Creator. Let me go back to Yeshua. Because I want that you understand about Yeshua from my point of view. You know, we had made a big deal about his martyrdom of being killed and being crucified, you know, in a horrible death. Martyrdom. But I want that you understand this. Look at from the historical perspective, not from the religion perspective. Who was Yeshua? A tzaddik, a true righteous man, a teacher, a rabbi, who came to Israel to bring Israel back to Torah. And what did he find himself in Israel? Exactly what we have today. The very powerful organized religion. Let me tell you, here in Canada, the organized religion is so powerful that if you are not part of the organized religion, you are nobody. Nobody take you in consideration. You need to be part of the organized religion. They tell you what to do, what not to do, and they have even sometimes more power than the government itself. And you supposedly you criticize the organized religion, they call you names. And even they stop talking to you. They shut your mouth. And they threatening you with jail or with some punishment. Well, at the time of Yeshua was no different. The organized religion was there. And he came not to the Gentiles, not to the Goyim. He came to his own people, Israel. And he started speaking to the Am Eretz, to the very simple people. Because the religious people didn't want to hear him because he was shaking their foundations. Because he was saying to them, you are a bunch of hypocrites. You dress all white, But inside you are darker than anything else. And what about the Beit Mikdash? Who were there? Who was the Hagadol Kohen at the time? Well, no any longer a very special Aaronic relationship, but aristocracy who has money to buy the place. And to whom they buy the place? To the Romans. What do you think about the people who left Jerusalem and went to the desert? What about them? The Qumran people. Huh? They call it Essenes, but sometimes we don't know exactly that is the term of them. There are many things, but for the sake only to give a name, the Essenes. Do you know that the Essenes, the great majority of Essenes were Kohanim or Leviim, and they left the Beit Mikdash, they left the temple, because they say that the temple has already been desecrated. That's the reason that they didn't look to the temple. And this is Yochanan McBillin, or John the Mercer, or the Baptist, when they call it Christianity. He was a Kohen, but I left them and became part of the Qumran people. And why he was doing mikvah in the river? Because now the mikvah in the temple was not good enough for them, because the temple had lost the sacredness for them. And we are not talking about Gentiles. We are talking about righteous Jews, that they have problems with the status quo, with the organized religion. And when Yeshua came to talk to the organized religion, and I say, you need to shape yourself, you need to regroup and to make it right, what the people did? We need to kill him. It goes against our interests. That was the reason that he was killed. And in order to make that accusation work at the time of Yeshua, the Israel didn't have the right to do the death penalty. Only the Romans could do. And the Romans at that time, they had better than the electric chair. They loved the crucifixion. Many people think that only Yeshua was crucified. And many think that there were only 3 crucified with Yeshua. At the day that Yeshua was crucified, there were thousands. The line, the entrance to Rome, to Jerusalem. And why he was crucified? Because the religious status quo accused him of sedition to the Romans. Because if they accuse him of religious revolt, nothing will happen to him. Then they needed to give an accusation, a legal accusation for the Pax Romana. Pax Romana. And he became a political agitator. He became like a zealot. He wanted the independence of Israel from Rome, and he never asked that. Because for him, the true freedom is not which government you are. The true freedom comes from within in your relationship with the Creator. And the truth of the matter is that we have lost perspective about why Yeshua really was killed. And there was a, what do you call it, a confabulation, a complot, but there is a collusion between the upper class, religious upper class of Israel. Look at religious upper class of Israel, we, the government of that time. Do you know that right now Israel has the same problem? Israel has a hierarchical religious system that is so powerful that dominates the government of Israel. I ask this question, why Israel doesn't become a secular state? They will have a better life. Because in that way, the people who follow the Creator will be sincere, not forced by fear. Because you follow God, not because you are imposed, you follow God because it's in you. That's the freedom that we need to talk about, the redemption of our people today. Like I say, Yeshua say, is don't point your finger to the eye of your neighbor that has a little speckle in his eyes. Look, the big log that you have in your own eye. Like people say, don't point somebody because there are 3 fingers back toward you. Let me go back again to this festival of freedom and redemption, that's Pesach. Are you free of the pollution of the Egypt that you left, or you are still wanted to go back to your own Egypt? Are you working to get out of that pollution? Because you see, all of us, without exception, we have been polluted. There's a reason that I no always see it. That's the reason that I read to you at the beginning, Psalm 139, 23 and 24. Search me, O God, and look within me, and see what are the things that are holding me back, and show me in order that I don't do it anymore. And in that way, I can have the freedom to worship you in truth. We can say that we are free? We can say that we are going through that way? Which Jesus do you believe on? On Yeshua or on Jesus Christ? Do you believe in the God of Israel, or do you believe in the God of the world? Today, in this generation that we are living, believe me or no, even the most of the people tell you that they are more free than ever, they are more a slave than ever. Today, more and more, we are losing the right to speak freely. More and more, the greatest nation like Canada, like the United States, like the European countries, you are not allowed to say the truth. Because that means that you are talking hatredness. You are talking bad about others. Now, the new world it is, be blind and accept everything that they tell you and don't open your mouth. That's not the world I want to live in. The Creator took us out of Egypt against our own will because He wanted to give us a better life. And that's what I propose to all of you. Take away your own pollution, open your eyes, search your heart, ask the Creator to guide you to the right way. And be grateful to what our Messiah Yeshua, our teacher, our Rabbi, as a prophet, told us to go back to Torah. Not like sometimes they teach you that you need to get away from Torah. totally the contrary. Go back. The 10 basic commandments, the 10 words, are the basics for a liberation. Shabbat Shalom.